or of African descent can claim, properly so, to have the highest political status on this continent. Well, except for the Native Americans. See, the Anglo-Saxons, the white people, they all came here of their own free will. They voluntarily came here, intentionally got on a ship and sailed here. The Africans, on the other hand, were kidnapped in their homeland and brought here against their will in chains. And then after the unconscionable, unconstitutional war on the South by Abraham Lincoln, the first of the great traitors, the Africans who were held in slavery were given their freedom. At that moment of time, colorably, that is, because of the difference in their arrival here on this land, not having come here voluntarily, the Africans can claim to have the highest political status of anyone who migrated here, put it that way. Anglo-Saxons, as I stated, came here voluntarily, so they have some kind of an obligation to adhere to the traditions of Anglo-Saxon common law. The Africans don't. They came from Africa, kidnapped, brought here in the condition of slavery, which was nothing but wrong, but that's the way it was. Then when they were finally given their freedom, their political status would colorably be higher than the white people here. But it's only colorably, because once you're 100% sovereign, you're 100% sovereign. So in answering your questions, George 12:15, the word people is set forth in the preamble as a term of art. In the first article of the Constitution, the political status citizen of the United States is first mentioned in the Constitution. And it's mentioned in regard to the requirements for a citizen of the United States to be eligible to serve in the House of Representatives. Has to be 25 years old and 7 years a citizen. When you have a difference of 25 years of age and 7 years a citizen, it's clearly referencing someone who migrated here and was naturalized. 7 years a citizen, if you're 25 years old and only 7 years a citizen, obviously you were naturalized. But they very skillfully didn't put that into the Constitution. You have to be able to read and pay attention to what is there in order to figure out what was actually intended by the quote-unquote former aristocrats who were doing everything they possibly could to create a republic here. That is, so that they, as aristocrats, would have political dominion over the former commoners, who, in my opinion, the aristocrats were intending to trick, I'll put it that way, to trick into a condition of servitude at some time in the future. They couldn't do it then because the former commoners at that time were very, very politically active, and they knew that they were politically sovereign. They had no political superior, period, and they knew it. Then later, after all of those commoners had either died or forgotten about it, we have the end of the Civil War, and we have the 13th and 14th Amendments. Also, prior to the Civil War, in 1854 or thereabouts, I'm not exactly positive on the year, I should look that up, we had the Dred Scott case, when the Supreme Court ruled very, very unambiguously that the term citizen of the United States and the term people of the United States were exactly the same, had exactly the same meaning with no difference. I can't make an outright claim, but it wouldn't surprise me at all that the Civil War, the purpose of the Civil War, was so that the 13th and 14th Amendment could be put in place to undo the Dred Scott decision. The 13th Amendment provides involuntary servitude shall not exist. That is a protection for the people of the United States. Those who pay attention to the words, those who pay attention to the preamble, and those who pay attention to the wording in the first article of the Constitution and understand what a republic actually is, it's a political organization where there are two separate political classes, those who make the rules and those who follow the rules, and those who make the rules are the people of the United States, and those who follow the rules are citizens of the United States. And if you stop and think about it, you'll see that that is absolutely true. The 13th Amendment protected those who are astute enough to claim to be of the people of the United States or to be of the people of the posterity of the rebels of July 4th, 1776. The 14th Amendment was the con job, the workaround. The 13th Amendment prohibits involuntary servitude. The 14th Amendment enables voluntary servitude. And then the former aristocrats conned everybody in the country to go to the government schools, where the government taught all of the children what the aristocrats wanted the children to be taught. That is, to be citizens of the United States, to claim citizenship, to believe that the political status citizen of the United States is the highest political status on the planet, when actually it's a subservient class, not any less subservient. In fact, I think it's the most subservient political class on the entire planet. More subservient than the people in China, more subservient than the people in North Korea, more subservient than the people in communist Russia. The people of the United States are the most subservient class. The citizens of the United States, I meant to say, excuse me. Citizens of the United States is the most subservient political class of humans known to man, as far as I can see, among those who believe that they are free. Maybe I should add that a little bit. There is no freedom in the United States for citizens of the United States. Citizens of the United States can only do what they are permitted to do. Right now we have a great hue and outcry about gun rights. I talked about this last night. The Second Amendment, all the citizens of the United States are screaming that their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms is being infringed by the federal Congress once more. I'm sorry. Citizens of the United States have no Second Amendment protected gun rights. If you want to protect your gun rights, you better stop claiming to be a citizen of the United States and start claiming to be of the people of the United States. People of the United States have gun rights. The Second Amendment very clearly protects the rights of the people of the United States to have guns, not citizens of the United States. It's very, very important to pay attention to the wording of the Constitution, the original wording, not with the Bill of Rights. Why did the men who wrote the Constitution not include any protections that are later added in the Bill of Rights? Why? Just a mere oversight? You got to be kidding if you believe that. Why in the world would the Constitution need to be amended immediately after it was written? Wouldn't you expect that when a document was rewritten by freedom lovers, men who truly loved freedom, men who truly intended for everyone to be free and equal, politically equal, would you expect that when they wrote the Constitution, it wouldn't need to be amended for 100 years, maybe 200 years before it would ever need to be changed? But it needed to be changed in about 15 minutes. As soon as the Constitution was publicly promulgated by the men who wrote it, it was rejected by the common people of the 13 states. Patrick Henry said, "I smell a rat." He wouldn't have anything to do with the Constitution. Then the commoners of the 13 states wrote about 30 proposed amendments, which they then foolishly gave to the aristocrats to write amendments to.